Okay, good morning. How are we? Let's get the party going. So keep your feet nice and wide, let them face forward. Put your hands on the back side and squeeze your elbows together. So you're just holding on to your upper hips. And you're squeezing the elbows and you're prouding out the chest. Should feel a nice stretch down the front part of the arm. Puff out the chest as much as you can. Keep your feet wide and fold halfway down. And then come back up and do it again. Keep squeezing the elbows. And sort of try to find your breath today when you begin and end each move. Try to breathe as much as you can. Do one more. Now you're going to release the arms and just let them dangle. Let the shoulders pull forward and then retract them. And then let them pull down so your hands are getting closer to the floor, and then you retract them. Keep pulling your weight backwards. So inhale, retract, exhale, release. Try to fill the ribs, like take as much air in as you can that you really feel the ribs expand. Just do a few more. Keep your neck long so you haven't dropped your head. Now hold the shoulders retracted and sweep the arms out to the side. Keep them nice and straight and then let them come back down and do it again. Sweep, lift, and then lower. So inhale, lift, and then exhale, release. Keep that going. Keep trying to lift them higher every time. Feeling the back of the shoulders here, doing this reverse fly. Just a few more. Okay, now let's take it to a full fold. So now you're going to relax your head. Hold the legs straight if you can. And now walk your hands out to plank. Step your feet into bear. And let's shift your weight backwards. So move your hips as far back as you can, and then bring them forward. So you're shifting your body forward and back as you keep your knees just above the floor. Okay, now put the knees down, and let's transition to cat-cows. So really hollow out that belly and create as much separation in your upper back between those shoulder blades as you can. Couple more. Now, find a neutral spine, and we're going to do more scapular work. So drop your chest down and push it away. So it's just dropping into the shoulders and then lifting away from the floor. Do that a few more times. Now maintain a neutral spine, shift your hips back, but don't sit on the heels. So I want to keep the spine long. Slide your hands to the corners of the mat and work your chest towards the floor. Let's stay here for 3 big breaths. Okay, now let's pick the hips back up, get onto your palms, and then bring your hands in so they're shoulder width apart. We're going to step back to a high plank. So let's have our feet hip width apart as well. And now pull the chest through the arms. And then come back to plank. And just do that a few times. Okay, from plank, hold it here, draw in the belly. Now take baby steps with your feet all the way forward to your hands, and then inhale to a flat back.
Shift your hips back. And then fold down onto your legs. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, extend. Now reverse it. Come all the way back up. Flip your palms up to the ceiling and then reach the arms all the way up. Try to get nice and tall from the head. Try to lift out of the hips. Bring your hands to heart. You're going to step your right foot back. Take it pretty far back, but I want you to feel stable. Now I want you to lean forward. Elevate really high onto the toes. And then give me a little rotation to the left. You've got a little bend in that front leg. Just hold this. See if you can go a little further. You're not punching or rounding your upper back though, right? You're keeping the chest proud. You're just kind of holding. Now let's come back and let's take it the other way. So you're probably feeling a little bit of this front inner thigh open up a bit. That's a good thing. Now come back. Let's take our hands to the floor and step back to that plank again. Just hold the belly up and in towards the spine and just breathe. Now let's take baby steps with your feet forward. Inhale to a flat back. Shift your weight backwards as you hold your spine in extension. It's a big stretch for your hamstrings. I think one of you is not muted, but that's okay. Okay, fold over your legs. Take a big deep breath. Extend the spine again. And then fold. And extend. And now reverse it all the way up. Flip your palms and reach for the ceiling. Now let's bring our hands to heart, and you're going to step your left foot back this time. Lean forward, get really high on the toes on that back foot. And if you feel like they're not that far apart, inch that back foot further back. You want to feel quite a bit of load going into that right glute. Now, once you're there, rotate right. And if you feel unstable, take that back foot and move it more to the left. Now come back and let's take it all the way over to the opposite side till you get a nice little activation of that inner thigh muscle. Now come back square. Step your back foot forward. We're going to switch. We're going to take the right leg back. This time we're going to take it on a 45-degree angle, your back foot. So to make sure you're in the right position, it's always good to look at your front heel and your back heel and see if you can get them in the same line. Hands on your hips, you're going to rotate forward. Now bend into this front leg. You want to be pressing the outside of the back foot towards the floor, getting this nice opening on that right side. Try to bend a little more, and it's okay if your front knee is going over your toes a little bit, that's fine. As long as you're getting that nice release on the right side. Okay, now let's straighten our front leg. Let's step the back foot in a little bit so the heel now is on the floor. We're gonna walk our hands down our leg to pyramid stretch. So now it's all about that left glute and hamstring is where you should be feeling a really big tug. So the hands go down as low as you can get them. I still have my spine in extension. Taking a few big deep breaths. Now I'm going to round my back, relax the head so you're looking to the back of your room. And just fold over that front leg. Try to remove any weight pressing into the floor through the hands. Okay, inhale, extend the spine, hands on your shin. We're going to hold this again. So you've lifted your head up. You're just looking towards the front of the mat. You have both legs straight. No rounding of the spine. Now keep your right hand on your shin and take your left hand up to your hip. We're going to do a little spinal rotation. So now I'm looking at the left side of my room. Just hold on that spot. Getting the outside of that leg. Released your IT band. Okay, let's come back with the hand down onto the shin. Walk your hands up your leg and step your back foot in. We're going to do the same on the other side. So I've got my back foot, heel, lined up with my front heel. I'm going to rotate to face forward and bend into my front knee. So it's all about this left thigh. Now the back foot, try to press the outside of it to the floor. Now see if you can bend into this front leg a little bit more. It's okay if the knee goes over the toes, not a big deal. Keep trying to turn this left hip forward. Okay, so now I'm going to come off that side of the foot and put the heel down. I'm going to straighten both legs. Hands to my front leg. Coming down nice and slow. So I've got both legs straight, both heels down. Feet should be about hip width apart. A little more for more stability. All you want to do is feel the back of that right leg get some length back. You know, we're going to take the hands to the floor. We're going to fold over the front leg, let the head go. Take the weight out of the hands if you can. Okay, inhale, extend the spine, hands back on your shin. Take your right hand up to your waist and see if you can open your chest to face the right side of the room. Keep rotating as far as you can go. Hold on that spot. Okay, let's bring the hand back down. Hands to the floor, bend your front leg, step your back foot in, And now you're in a full forward fold. Nice, easy breathing. Try to straighten out the legs a little more if you can. Shift your hips back a little more if you can. Now we're going to inhale to a flat back. I want you to walk your hands forward as you move your hips more further back. So you got a little tug of war going on here. Now let's take the hands to the floor. We're going to step back to plank. We're going to put our knees down on the floor. You got your shoulders over your wrists. Now you're just going to let the hips come forward and proud out your chest. So you're looking forward. And now we're going to move the hips all the way back over the heels. Keep your forearms off the floor, your spine in extension, your head from falling off your body. So much to remember. Okay, let's do it again. Come all the way forward so your shoulders are over your wrists, and then let the hips come forward. Take your gaze, look up. And do it again, hips back. If you can get the hands any further forward, don't wait, do it. Okay, come on up so you're in your quadruped position. We're going to take the right arm forward with your hand facing the midline of the body. Take your left leg back, lift it up, the foot up off the floor. So you got two limbs reaching in opposite directions. Keep your hips even. Now, if you don't need the toes on the right foot to balance, get onto the top of that foot and just realize how much more muscle you're using now to stay stable. Your transverse abdominis muscles are doing a lot of the work here. Okay, relax back to the floor. We're going to do some cat-cows before we go over to the other side. So just go at your pace. Explore what feels good. Okay, neutral spine, left arm out in front, right leg back. Try not to use the toes. So the left foot, you can try being on the top of it. Reach the arm to touch the front of your room. And you really want to pull the back leg back. Try to really straighten out that back leg as much as you can. And relax. We're going to kick our feet out to the side. We're going to have a seat on your mat with your heels in the corners of the front. Sit up nice and tall, arms out in front. You're just going to lean back till you feel the belly engage to protect your spine. Excuse me. Now lift the arms all the way up. It's a little work for your hip flexors, but that is a good thing. Now bring the arms down and open them out to the side. Pull them backwards as much as you can, but you're still drawing in the stomach. If it's puffing out and you can't keep it in, bring the arms forward, sit up, for a little reprieve, and then activate again. Arms up this time. Take them down parallel to the floor, move them back. And then come all the way back up. Give your arms a little rest. We're gonna dive between the legs. Rounding your spine. Just hold here and breathe. Feet are flexed, toes pointing up to the ceiling. Okay, take it up. Take your right hand to the outside of your left foot. Hold it there, so you're getting a nice little stretch for your lat and behind that right shoulder. Take your left hand behind you by your hip and give me that spinal rotation again. Now take that chest and start rotating it towards the right. Now it's not going to go, but what you're doing is you're intensifying that release behind the right shoulder. Just hold on that spot as you take some really big, deep breaths. Okay, release that foot, sit up nice and tall, and we're going to do the same on the other side. So left hand to the outside of the right foot. Does that not feel good? Right hand can be on the mat just behind you. Now give me a little rotation to the right. Now rotate the opposite way as far as you can to intensify that stretch behind the shoulder. Big deep breathing here. Okay, come on back. Sit up nice and tall. Take the arms out in front. You're going to cross to the shoulders. So each hand on opposite shoulder. Now you're going to C-curve the spine. So round down one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow, while you draw in the belly. Once we get down, head to the floor, arms go all the way back behind you. Point your toes, reach for the back of the room with the fingers. Try to sink the rib cage so you've got some engagement of the core. Now take your fingers and clasp them together behind you. And then let the arms come up slowly. You haven't done anything different with your lower body. We're just working the upper body right now. Let the hands come all the way down to your hips and then sweep them all the way back again. Nice and slow, take the hands as far back as you can. You got your arms nice and long, bring them forward again. And take them back. Don't forget to breathe. Bring them forward. And back for the last time. Once they're back there, release them, spread your fingers nice and wide, and then make a fist. Just do that a few more times. Okay, bring the arms forward till they're all the way down on the floor. You want to get nice and flat on your shoulder blades so you're crowding out the chest. So make that happen. Bring the knees in and let's cross our right knee over the left. Now you can have a space between your lower back and the floor, or you can try to get rid of it by tilting the pelvis. Just whatever feels good for your body. Now we're just going to let the knees go to the right side. as far as they want to. And then bring them back up. And take them down again. And bring them back up. You're massaging that right glute. Okay, when they're up this time, bring the knees into the chest. Take hold of the outsides of the feet when they're both flexed. Pull the feet in towards you. Just breathe. Keep the face, the shoulders, everything else relaxing. Play around with the angle of the feet. Maybe you lift them a little higher up now that you've been in this position a little bit. Maybe you draw them in a little closer. But most important is to breathe. And now let's release the arms back to the floor, uncross the legs. You're going to keep your knees together and make a little circle to massage your lower back. Okay, feet back to the floor with your legs bent. Now we're going to cross the left knee over the right. You got a pretty big bend in the legs. Let the knees go left as far as they want to. It's not about putting them into a particular place. Bring them back up and do it again. You're just rolling over the glute, trying to loosen that muscle. Keep doing it a few more times. Okay, now this time when you come up, let's bring the knees into the body. Let's find our feet with them flexed. Keep the knees drawing in towards you. Play around with subtle changes in the angles, in the height of the feet. Okay, let's release them. Put your feet back down on the floor. We're going to pelvic rock forward and back. This is super duper good for you. You can do this every day. Why not want to do it every day? Okay, I want you to just come back to like a neutral, comfortable place. And now lift your toes off the floor, but keep the pad of your feet on the floor. And then release the toes back down. And then lift them back up. So the ball of the foot is remaining down. Lift and lower and keep going. Okay, now relax the feet. You're gonna roll the pelvis up so you've got no space between your lower back and the floor. Now think of keeping the weight into your heels and roll up one vertebrae at a time into your bridge. Once you're there, take the arms off the floor, hands up towards the ceiling. Now let's get onto our heels if you can, and then just take a little baby step forward with the feet or slide them, whatever you can do. My mat is super slippery, so I can just sort of glide along it. But if not, you're stepping up and moving the feet forward a little bit. If you need to put the ball of each foot down on the floor to do it, that's okay. Okay, let's make this space a little bit less. We're moving to less of a bend in the leg is what we're doing. And while we do that, we're recruiting more of the hamstring. And slide again, or step, hold. You want to have your butt off the floor. So if you've taken your feet too far forward and your butt's hitting the floor, bring them back, lift up. Slide again, or step, or move, whatever you have to do. Smaller bend in the legs, more of the hamstring doing the work. Now let's take the arms back down to the floor and let's slowly lower the butt. Extend the right leg all the way down along the floor and bring your left knee into the chest. I want you to make a big circle with that foot. Change your direction. And now point and flex it. And let's extend the left leg down. Make sure your calf is on the floor. Bring the right knee in. As close to the chest as you can get it. Circle your ankle. Change your direction. And point and flex. Okay, from here, bring that left knee back in. We're gonna meet in happy baby. So the arms are inside the knees. Hold the outsides of the feet. And use your hands to pull the feet closer to the floor and your knees. And think about keeping that low back down on the mat. You can add a little gentle rock side to side if that feels good. Take the legs all the way up to the ceiling, arms to the floor. Point your toes. Open the legs nice and wide. Use gravity here to help you. So just kind of don't fight it, let it go. Bring it back together at the top and open back up again. As wide as they can go. And close and do it one more time. Okay, back up at the top. Now I want you to take your hands behind your head, lift your upper body up into a little crunch. Make sure your chin is pressing down towards your chest. And take that right leg with your toes pointed and lower it till it's just above the floor. We're gonna hang out here as we continue to try to lift our shoulder blades up, activating all the side body muscle here in your core. And if you got tremble going on, you've connected to the move, which is awesome. Keep lifting, keep trying. Might not feel like you're getting up, but you should feel more work going into that muscle on the side as you try. Okay, bring both knees into the chest and the head back to the floor. We're going to take our head and just roll it to the right and then the left. And just keep going side to side. And when you turn your head, you want to turn it as far as you can. Okay, come back neutral. Legs back up to the ceiling, point your toes. Hands lift behind the head, tuck your chin. Really try to get the shoulder blades rounding up off the floor, and then take this left leg with toes pointed, lower it to hip height. Keep trying to lift. You got both legs locked out straight. Breathe. Lift higher. Okay, both knees come in, head back down to the floor. Roll it side to side. Nice. Now let's put our feet down on the floor, hip width apart. You're going to let your knees actually a little wider than hip width apart with your feet, please. And then take the knees to the right. Take your left arm up to the ceiling and straight back behind you. Spread your fingers nice and wide and reach the arm long. Giving that muscle that you just worked a little stretch. And let's do the same on the opposite side. So arm pulls in, knees go to the other side. Right arm up and straight back, really long. Spread those fingers wide. Big deep breath. And then let it go. Try to let that right shoulder get a little closer to the floor. And the arm. Okay, bring the arm back. Bring your knees up. So we're going to get rid of, we're doing the Sean move. So just a small little bend in the legs. We're only doing it once. Turn your toes in. Turn your knees in to touch. Fingertips only on the floor. So you're lifting your arms up, crowding out your chest. Now, step one, push your heels down towards the earth. Just feel all that muscle start to work. Now, isometrically draw them down and towards your butt. Squeeze the knees together. So you're creating as much force into this effort as you can. Now lift your butt off the floor. Keep the squeeze, it's super important. So if you count to 10 slowly, we're done this, and we're only doing it once. So make it as intense as you can. And let it go. Straighten out those legs, take the arms all the way back behind you. We're gonna floss. So we're gonna open the palms in one direction and then turn them to the other. And as you do that, bring your arms up and down towards the floor and all the way back again. Rotating the palms. Do it a few more times. Okay, you're gonna bend both legs. Do some pelvic rocking. So roll the pelvis up so you feel the low back skin on the floor. You got a big bend in the legs. So that'll help you here get bigger range of motion. One more time. Nice. Now bring both knees into the chest and bring your forehead up to meet them. I like to wrap my forearms and touch opposite elbow. That really helps me tuck into a small ball. And then release the head back to the floor. Release the feet back to the floor. Take your hands behind the head. Take your elbows all the way down to the floor. So if you've worked your chest muscles lately, like on Tuesday, you should feel a nice stretch in the front part of the body. And now, with the elbows staying back, I just want you to gently lift your head up as you tuck your chin down. And then take it back down. We're going to do this 2 more times. It's not forcing, it's just giving your neck a little stretch. Keep the elbows back, lift, don't pull with your hands. Tuck that chin and then put it back down and just do it 1 more time. And once it's back down, arms by your side, you're going to roll the pelvis up, bridge up, lift your hips. We're going to work a little inward rotation again. So I just want you to squeeze your knees together and open them back up. You're moving in slow motion. Squeeze in and open up. And do it again. Squeeze in and open and in and open. And now 1 vertebrae at a time. Roll back down. 1 more core exercise before we sign off. Lift your legs up. 90-degree bend in the ankle and the knee. So your knees are over your hips. Arms up to the ceiling. Palms face. Take the right leg and left arm and extend out. 3, 2, 1. Pull it back in. And switch sides. 3, 2, 1. Pull back in. Do that 2 more times. Keeping those hips either over the knees, either over the hips or just in front can determine how challenging this exercise becomes. So I have 1 more to do here. Now bring both knees in, hold onto your knees and then open the legs up nice and wide. And then move the knees forward and close them. So you're making a nice big circle. Go the opposite way. Nice. Now you're going to rock and roll up to a seated, excuse me, a seated position. Pull your feet in close to you, hands behind you, come up onto your toes. Nice and high on the pads of the feet. And now let's all meet in a full fold. Let your head relax. Inhale to a flat back. Do a nice slow swan dive all the way back up. Flip your palms, move your arms further back. Hold on this spot. Now bring the pinkies together. Squeeze your chest and then open back out and do it 1 more time. Take the arms as far back as you can. Keep them long. Bring them forward. And bring your hands to heart. I thank you so much for your power and strength. Woohoo! Happy Thursday. We are done.
Thank you. Have a nice day.